Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a screenwriter's take on Shazam. Yeah, I finally saw Shazam and it was really good, so I'm going to do a review about it. I know it's a bit older, but you got the second movie coming out, and I gotta say, this one is really good. So smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Please check out my books. Links in the description. You got Wokistan, a novel, now on audiobook. Hollywoke, another novel, political satire, and of course the Pineys books 1 through 6. Book 7 dropping this month, and it's a comedy horror in South Jersey. So check that out all at Amazon. You can read them free on Kindle Unlimited. If you have Amazon Prime, you have Kindle Unlimited now. First, I'll do the non-spoiler review. Shazam is about Billy Batson, who is a foster kid who gains superpowers from an ancient wizard because he is pure of heart, and he then has to use them to save Philadelphia, which was great for me because I'm from the Philly region. I'm in South Jersey. So it was great to see the locations and whatnot and see them fight around Philly and use that as a city. Um, so, and that part was very exciting. Most of the movie is spent, I'll say, having fun with the superpowers, like the kid and his sidekick trying to figure out what the superpowers do and using them as kids would use them. And the lead here, the guy who does Adult Sham, Captain Marvel. His name is actually Captain Marvel, but they won't use that in the movie. Captain Marvel is really funny. He's actually funnier than the kid. My only minor nitpicking criticism with the film would be that the actor playing the kid, playing Billy Batson, is almost a little too serious. Although he should be, because he's got all this, drama, which they would portray very well in the movie with his mother. Um, the he's almost, the adult version of Captain Marvel almost is a different personality, but you can forgive it because it's the sort of thing where, like, when he transforms, he becomes like bigger than life person almost. Um, so the movie's great. I mean, the movie's just so much fun. It's funny. There's lots of action. Mark Strong plays Thaddeus, the bad guy in this, sort of the anti Shazam, and he always makes a good villain. Um, and it has a satisfying conclusion, and it sets up the sequels nicely. It's everything the DCU should have been. This would have been a great first DCU movie because this set up other characters. This set up like a whole world that you could get into, that you could get behind. It was fun, and then you could get more intense as new installments were added. So I don't know why they don't just put everybody who worked on this movie in charge of the DCU. They should totally do it. And I'll get in more of that in my non-spoiler review. So if you haven't seen this movie yet, you've probably already seen it. Go check it out. It's totally worth your time. Highly recommended. But now let's break it down from a screenwriting perspective in the nitty gritty. So the first act of this movie is obviously Billy, and he is an orphan. He's got all these problems, and he's going from foster home to foster home, trying to find his mother, which is a great subplot in the movie. It mirrors the comic book pretty well because Billy, it was almost a Depression era comic in its own way, but Billy was kind of a sad character, but he was, as a person, he was pure heart. He was a kid who, you couldn't keep him down, kind of thing. This actor is he's a little bit too dark for the role almost. But I can understand why they wanted to give him a bit of an edge, so the movie would be a little more realistic rather than go golly gee whiz all the time. So I think it works well. I mean, the thing about Captain Marvel and Shazam, the comic was a creation of its time. It was very dated. If you've ever seen it, it had universal themes, but its delivery was very, very, very dated. Unlike Batman, where you could kind of, some of the themes, although the dialogue would be very dated in 39 Batman or 1940s Batman, crime the way he fought crime kind of was similar. Whereas this, Captain Marvel was based on the personality of the kid, right? And so Captain Marvel was just, Billy would become Captain Marvel and then be adult-like. And he would say, golly gee whiz, and he was pure of heart and all that kind of stuff. But, like, the kid stuff didn't necessarily come out in him all that much, I think, in the original Captain Marvel character. They really play this up in the movie. It's a lot of fun. So the second act is him and Freddy here trying to figure out his powers, having fun with the powers, and eventually, and also dealing with Billy's anger with his mom and his situation and what's going on in the foster care and school and whatnot. You got the bullies that beat up Freddy. They were a little over the top, I thought, mainly because they kind of hit Freddy with a car outside of school. That would not fly in the modern day in any way. I mean, it was bizarre that it even happened, but I mean, I get it. It was for the movie or whatnot. So here they are having fun with the superpowers. And the lead actor here, he's just great as Shazam. He's just great. He's hilarious. And then Mark Strong and following his story. The movie is a little over 2 hours, but it really builds up all the characters. It builds up Thaddeus, his whole background, why he is the way he is, and it makes absolute 100% sense. Really well done. So when he's not just a villain, he's not just a 2D villain. He's a guy with a chip on his shoulder with a reason to be sort of power hungry. His whole life was kind of dedicated towards it. And Billy, on the other hand, is pure of heart, and but he's very similar. They're both very similar in that way. And the great thing in the third act, of course, although I think the third act's a little long. I think it goes a little long, but it's fun. I mean, the big revelation, of course, in the third act is the Marvel family gets in the mix. Billy's foster buddies all getting superpowers, which is great. It's fun. It's fun to watch the kids figure out their superpowers as they go. And in the middle of a fight, they have to figure out their superpowers. It's so much fun. Then they beat Mark Strong, of course, but they don't kill him, right? They don't kill him, which is good for two reasons. Number one, they're kids, and that would be too much. But number two, that's the way comic books work. The hero doesn't kill. And then you're going to see Mark Strong in the sequels, at least tangentially, or maybe it'll be mentioned. And that's the way it should be. It should have been that way for all the superhero movies of all time, right? That was my big problem with '89 Batman. I mean, they, kill off the Joker. It's like, what are you doing? What the hell are you doing? You can't kill off the Joker, idiots. So these guys get it. They should absolutely be put in charge of every decision for the DCU. Absolutely, 100%. Way better than the Zack Snyderverse. F the Snyderverse. Okay, sorry. I know you got a lot of Snyder fans out there. The problem with Snyder is this. He is a good visual guy. He knows how to craft a movie. He doesn't know how to craft a story, in my view. All right, you have no further to look than something like, say, Army of the Dead as compared to The Watchmen. The Watchmen, he almost gets it perfect. It's a shame he just missed it by that much. But it's a great movie because he's mostly following the comic. He's mostly following something. When he's in charge, you get Army of the Dead, which is just all over the place. It has too many characters, nothing really sensible in it. Yeah, I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen all the critiques of it, and I could see it from the trailer. It's a mess. There's just too many characters. There's too much stuff going on. The whole premise is dumb. But I think Zack Snyder, with a good script appropriate for, he's more of a dark guy. So The Watchmen was perfect for him. You know, having him reboot the DCU, no, not perfect. Not perfect at all. Um, I would give, dark movies to Snyder. Sin City would be a good kind of comic book movie for him to direct. He'd be great at that. Um, and comics like that, or stories like that were dark and foreboding, with action movies. Um, Even like Rennie Harlin style blockbusters, he'd be good at. But nothing that's supposed to be fun like this. He's bad at fun. His version of fun is somebody gets their, head chopped off. When you have Superman killing somebody, you have to pull him aside and go, no. He in my view, Snyder is a guy who needs to be kept on a short leash, because otherwise he'll just run rampant with the visuals and the story be damned. These guys, however, get it. These guys integrate the visual with the story perfectly. There's a balance here. There's a balance of comedy. There's a balance of action. There's a balance of drama. I really felt bad for Billy Batson. I mean, the scene where he confronts his mother is absolutely heart-wrenching to me. It's heart-wrenching because it's so mundane. Billy's so earnest. He genuinely wants to. He has nothing, and he spends all this time tracking down his mother only to be rejected. I mean, that's gut-wrenching. It's gut-wrenching. And yet, that's in this movie. That's a light movie. And that contrasts, his superhero status. And the superhero in this works because it's magic, right? Magic, you can defy gravity. You can do all sorts of... You can do all sorts of things. I got to turn the sound off. You can, do crazy stuff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's magic. And that's how you explain it. There's no physics to it. When you get into the reality of superheroes, that's where it goes off the rails. You can only inject so much grounded reality into this. Where the reality is in this movie is in Billy's personality and his personal life. That's where the reality is. That's where the grounding is. That's where you can connect with the characters. Forget about the superpowers. The superpowers are almost superfluous. But them having fun and doing stuff, and you want them to have fun because they're foster kids. They have nothing. They have nothing. They don't even have parents. So, this is great. You should see, if you haven't seen Shazam, you should absolutely see it. And I look forward to the sequels. As much as I don't want to support The Rock anymore, but he's going to be Black Adam, which is the actual anti-Shazam. I think that'll be good. Him as a villain, we'll see. I think they're doing his own movie first, which is good. It's a great concept. It's a shame the creator's long dead. I think he would have probably enjoyed this movie. Harlan Ellison, the biggest Captain Marvel fan, he's dead too. I wonder what his take would have been on it. He probably would have hated it. But I like this movie. It's way better than the recent incarnations of the Justice League and that kind of stuff. If they had started with Shazam, it would have been a great segue into building up other characters. They've kind of screwed the pooch with Wonder Woman, although I think Gal Gadot's career is sort of off the rails, so they should be able to get her back for a sequel of Wonder Woman. if you could come up with a better concept than they did for the sequel. I mean, I think they ought to fire everybody who was involved with the sequel, that's for sure. But, all right, that's it. So check out Shazam, and check out, Joan and I have 2 other videos on Bitchute and Rumble. I did put a political video up today, and it may burn your ears, but I had to put it on YouTube. And we'll see you tomorrow.